Sean and Joe, another episode ready to go. They're gonna talk about the good and the trash and anything in between. Cherishing make-believe, get ready for Halloween. It's the horror show. I know you missed those guys. Tune in and find out what's on their list tonight. They butcher and dissect, take apart and mutilate. Listen to your two favorite brainiacs communicate. It's the horror show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horror Show. The show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe. Very energetic there,
That
man.
pre-workout is kicking in, baby.
Why are you doing that before recording?
Because I needed a pep. I needed some pep, baby. I
respect it.
I was going low. I gotta, hey, and then I'll just take a little night juice before I go to bed, and everything's gonna be okay.
What the fuck are you doing?
You know, just living that lifestyle, man. Just
all right.
Hey, it's non-habit forming, so you know. We got a movie for you. This week.
That we do.
Oh, glad to be back too, guys. Thank you all for the messages. Kip Piper, I just want to shout you out. You messaged me a bunch on like Patreon, and like I appreciate you. Honestly, the Patreon app is awful, and there's like no easy way to respond to people on it as a creator. So I generally don't respond, but he like checked in on us and was like, "What's up?" So thank you for doing that, dude. I appreciate you.
It's a good segue. The past two episodes that we did, we took 2 weeks off or whatever. But the last couple of episodes that we did, we started off with like some heavy-handed subjects, and our listeners are just great. Like there are people who reached out this week. We didn't even put an episode out. Just be like, hey, just wanted to see how you're doing, like how your mental well-being is, and it's much appreciated. So everyone that's reached out, and it was a lot.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, I think they were also like, uh-oh, Sean's probably gone off the handles again and is going to delete the Facebook page and turn the show off. Just because we like went missing for a week.
No, nobody. No one that I talked to was like worried about us.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It wasn't a thought. It was crazy. And we said this on Patreon, but like, you know what's been going on the last few weeks, and it's like somehow we managed to squeeze shows in when we probably should have used that time to like sit back and take a break. And instead we were like, let's fucking do it. And even your wife was like, of course you record tonight. And you were like, okay.
Yeah.
And like, so like, I think it was just, we should have taken that time off. We did it. And then it hit us last week. So, yeah, appreciate that. And
not what we didn't take off last week because of the things that were going on. We actually had like a lot going on, and I said it on the Patreon. And it's like after 2 years of not doing anything, it's weird having back-to-back plans. And last weekend we had plans Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was just like we got to slow down for a second.
Yeah, and that's probably just good at our age anyway. But we're living fast and loose right now, and that's all right. That's all right. I was gonna say something. I forget what it was though. I don't know. Oh, Patreon people. Speaking of Patreon people, we changed Patreon a little bit. We're getting rid of the $15 tier. We're just doing $5 and $10, and $5 doesn't change. It's kind of just like our like, hey, support us. You get some stickers and stuff. And then the $10, you're going to get all the live shows, and you're going to get the video episodes that we're doing now of the shows and the bonus episodes. So more bang for your buck. In these hard financial times, we felt like the thing to do. It felt like the move to give. Yeah. To give our fans access to that, because the main message we get is like, I definitely want to, pitch in, but like can't right now. And everyone likes different things. Some like the bonus episodes, some like the live shows. I think some people just do it to support us, which is nuts. And like, I don't even think they access it, but that's still cool. But, so yeah, we did that. So if you were interested in, helping us out on Patreon, we only have 2 tiers now. So it's an easy choice.
5 and 10.
Easy choice. So thank you all so much for your support, and big big ups to everyone that joined after we launched that on Friday. So thank you all so much. That was a little wild. We were like, I don't know what's going to happen when we do this. And, response was good. So, and that's that. What else? Anything else? Any other house cleaning things? I don't think we do have house cleaning other than that.
Live show coming up April
9th.
What? 9th?
That's what I want to say. It's the weekend before
Easter.
We're doing Shallow Graves, which is April 9th. April 9th. We're doing Shallow Graves. It's like a spring break theme. We're going to do spring break, baby. We're going to bust out your spring break gear, wear a bathing suit. Don't wear a bathing suit. I don't want to see any of you in a bathing suit, but break out your sunglasses. We're going to have a spring break night. It's a spring break slasher from 1987.
Well, now I'm showing up in a two-piece.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, so do that, and that's not linked on our site yet, but I'll set it up at IHateHorror.com. You can get tickets there if you're not part of Patreon, or just join Patreon for $10 a month. And now it's all yours. But we've got bigger things to talk about, brother. We got to talk about a franchise and a movie here in the Blair Witch and the Blair Witch. Well, no, that's not the name of the movie. Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
Yeah.
So not even the Blair Witch Project 2. It's Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
And let me ask you something, a hard-hitting question right off the bat.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's hear it.
Did you like it?
So, short answer. Ooh, I don't know. No. Overall, no. But also, like, not the most offensive thing I've ever seen.
Dude, I kind of liked it.
It has a following.
I think the concept was cool. I think the filmmaking had a lot to be desired.
Yes.
There's a lot wrong with it, but I don't think I hated it. And I'm curious how I feel when we're done talking about it. But I do know the director. So first of all, if they hired a director who did documentaries beforehand and did documentaries afterwards until that Zac Efron Ted Bundy movie, but that was his follow-up feature film. It appears that he just spent from 1996 to 2000 jerking off to The Craft and Scream, because that is
what it is.
What this movie is, like, blended together to the point where the guy from Burn Notice, who's one of our main characters, he's Randy Meeks. I mean, he has the same shitty, like, chin beard,
yep.
and he's just acting the same. So, a lot of homages, more so homages to that, I thought, than the first one, which is wild.
Yeah. And boy, I don't even know where to start here. So do we want to? I just want to talk about the first one.
Let's talk about the first one first.
Let's talk about that just like real briefly here, because I rewatched it. You just watched it recently. I think after rewatching it, and I haven't seen it in, oh my God, in so long. Do I love it as much as when I was younger? Definitely not. The end sequence is incredible, though. The end sequence is like so good. Like, I don't care if you could hate on it all you want. That's fine. That ending of that movie is so fucking good and still gets you a little tight when you're like, what the fuck? Because that's like your worst. That's like the scariest shit in the world. Even like, as like a teenager, if we were even like fucking around in the woods, like as soon as you hear like something like a fucking branch snap and like behind you, you're like, what the fuck is it? Like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like,
yes,
it's your worst fucking fear. And to have that unfold on film like that, I think it worked. That ending is just iconic and awesome. And I think it's great. I think it works.
So I was actually the opposite, when the Blair Witch came out. Like, I was such a snob. I was such a fucking punk piece of shit when I was a little kid. So I was like such a snob when it came out. I was like, what are you guys talking about? This isn't scary. Like, this is boring. I didn't like the found footage aspect of it. Rewatched it because its 20th anniversary was 2 years ago.
Yep.
I fucking loved it. I was like, what was I on? This is like really well done. It's just effective. I thought they did a really good job with it.
For people that were like not filmmakers, the acting in it too was actually insanely good. Like,
which is wild because this movie, Blair Witch 2, has established actors, and you're like, these guys fucking suck.
That was actually my biggest problem with this movie is how bad the acting is. And it was actually alarmingly bad. It was like, it was wild how bad the acting.
I mean, it felt like a sci-fi original.
Right, right, for sure. So, but that original, there's a moment where the guy is, where they're like fighting, that moment where they're fighting and like, they're saying like nasty shit to each other. They're like at the breaking point. And the guy starts crying, and he was the one being an asshole, and he starts crying. And I was like, fuck, like, I've been there where you're just like so fucking frustrated and mad at somebody that you actually just cry.
Emotional overload.
Yeah. And I was
especially with like fear. Yeah.
And I was like, has that even happened in a movie? Like, does anyone even portray that in a movie? I don't think they do, because they're like, no, he's mad. You know what I mean? Like, he's mad. He won't cry. He doesn't cry. But like in that moment, that dude's crying. And like, dude, you could feel it. You could feel the stress in all of them. And you're just like, and there's a lot on IMDb now that claims like they were actually lost, or like the crew knew where they were, but like the actors didn't. And I was like, I don't buy that. But
you know, whenever I hear stories like that, like I don't like, you're still making a fucking movie, right? And you live in the modern age. You're going to be found. Like, you can't be that scared, or you shouldn't be making a movie.
Exactly. So I don't know. Like, I read that and I'm like, that seems, which is kind of cool that we're getting to that point, because like to us, that was Cannibal Holocaust, right? Where it was like, those people are really fucking dead. And like, it was probably the same thing as Blair Witch, where like it just started, right? Like, fans of the movie were just like, no, they were fucking really lost. That's what drove them to act like that. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But overall,
but I do want to say, because we're talking about the acting of Blair Witch 2, as we said, is pretty bad until that final shot. That guy who is screaming, who's like, "This is bullshit." That guy is acting better than I've ever seen anybody act. I've never believed a character more than I believe that guy.
I love that he saved all of his acting chops for that last 5 seconds of the movie.
Dude, 30 seconds. Screaming, dude, he has spit and like body fluids just all over his face. This guy is going 110.
He's in a Francis Ford Coppola movie, man. This motherfucker,
unbelievable.
Oh, it's wild. It's wild. Good for him. I agree with that. But Blair Witch, I really like. It would have been. I don't think we could ever do a full episode on it, because again, the first 45 minutes is people walking and talking, and it's
rocks being stacked on top of it.
Right. It's not a lot for a show.
See, I think when I was a fucking piece of shit 14-year-old, I've just never, like, you don't know, you have no life experience, right? Or I shouldn't say you don't. I didn't. Most people don't at that age. But like now, I've like experienced things and like been left to my own devices. And if I was circling, even if I didn't know there was a legend of a Blair Witch, if I was just in the woods and I kept passing the same tree and noticing like, wait, that stack of rocks had 3 rocks on it and now it has 4 and I just passed it like 5 minutes ago, I would lose my fucking mind. Like, I think that's honestly terrifying. It's just like things like that would happen in real life. I would start to melt down and be like, what the fuck? Where am I?
For sure, dude. Yeah, it's good, but I do think like its replay value is stifled. I don't think it's a movie you can watch like regularly. You know what I mean? Like
it has to be spread out with like years. Like Halloween, you could watch multiple times a year
because something happened
once every year. Dude, imagine watching Blair Witch once a month.
Dude, I fucking
insane.
So it doesn't have like the rewatch factor as other movies, and I think that's what kind of like stifles it. But other than that, it's a fucking great movie, and I was like, oh wow, like this is cool. This is fucking cool. So I got like kind of amped up about Blair Witch 2, a movie I knew I wasn't gonna probably love, but you know, I was like, where do we go from here?
You know, like I said, there's a lot left to be desired with this, but there's a lot of ideas that I like that they had. I just don't know if they executed them well.
I think
I like the meta element of it. I like it.
Yeah,
It's so
that
surreal
was
to
cool.
just hear them keep being like blockbuster 1999 film Blair Witch Project, and you're like, wait, about that?
recognizing it as a movie that came out. And then I think even at some points they kind of use it to say like that was a fictional movie. Like there's a couple moments where people reference it in terms of it being like fiction.
was it real or was it not? Yeah.
Yeah, and like the characters are like, that's just a movie. And I was like, oh, wait, I thought they were playing it off like it was a documentary kind of. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And I think the ideas, like you said, are like, it was right there. And I feel like if this had happened in like today's day and age, I think they would know how to approach this series. I think they would have done a better job with a second one.
Just don't hire a documentary. The guy is making references to the Titicut files, the fucking film that like the documentary film that blew open the world of like mental institutions. Nobody watching Blair Witch 2 in the year 2000 is familiar with the Titicut files. The guy had the scene where the tube's being shoved up.
Oh my God.
Bernard
Which, by the way,
nose.
not explained.
That is not explained. We just know that he's in a psych ward. Also, it's not needed at any point.
No.
But it is also a scene-for-scene shot of the documentary Titicut.
Oh, is it?
And he leaves in for 5 minutes. So it's like,
It's so long.
what are you doing? There's like 4 people that's going to get that reference.
Yeah, this documentary guy. So here's the thing. So Artisan goes to Hexen, the production company that did the Blair Witch movie, right? And they're like, we want to make a movie as soon as Blair Witch hit. And they were like, we're with you, but why don't we let the buzz die down on the first one so we can. Obviously, their idea was like, we're going to make a similar movie, right? And then amp it up the same way because the marketing of Blair Witch was insane. Like the marketing, the website, that shit was all real that they show at the beginning of this, which was like this weird ass website that was like, no, this is real. They made a fake website that was like, these stories are real. So when you search for Blair Witch, you found a website that was like, oh yeah, like, and it wasn't even like linked to the movie really, So
Right.
Genius marketing. So I think that's like kind of what they wanted to do. Artisan Films is like, no, we're not going to do that. And they were like, we're going to make one right now. So then they hire Joe Berlinger from Bridgeport, Connecticut. And he, like Joe said, he's a documentary filmmaker. He did Paradise Lost. Like he makes fucking, dude, fucking, what's the other one? The Brother movie, Brother's Keeper. He made. Like, guys, fucking phenomenal documentarian, right? And I kind of liked the idea. I liked where their head was at, Artisan. Like being like, well, Blair Witch
What better to make it look like a documentary than
a documentary maker? Like he could fucking do it. Well, Berlinger is like, I hate the Blair Witch Project because they make documentaries look stupid and shitty, like with the shaky cam. And he's like, so I'm not gonna fucking pander into that, and I'm not even gonna like address the first one. And I was like, oh, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. And Artisan also thought that was fucking dumb. And after his original cut, they were like, you need to fucking fix this immediately.
Artisan was very hands-on with this movie.
They were like, this is not going to work for us. Now, not all of their points were good either. They made some choices that were terrible. But
He wanted the opening credits to be Frank Sinatra. To have it, and his reasoning is to have it have like a calming feel before like ramping it up, right? And Artisan's immediately like, no, Marilyn Manson's hot. We're putting Marilyn Manson in, which it does. You know what? It seems like such an insignificant thing.
Joe, if Frank Sinatra opened that movie, I would have been like, what the fuck is happening?
Dude, but I mean, I agree, but it would have like I think the point is to confuse you or to like lure you into a false sense, and I would, because as soon as Marilyn Manson plays, I just think I still know what you did last summer. Like,
Yeah,
okay, it's going to be one of these fucking movies.
And it really didn't have that pace, right? Like, dude, first of all, it was disposable teen, so it was like, you know, like, like one of Manson's like fast songs, right? Like where it's always that same like, da-dong, and you're just like, oh shit, let's go. And then it's immediately like, yeah, we're going to take a walk in the woods. And you're like, oh fuck.
Exactly.
So, I mean, listen, it's not all great. He originally wanted it to be a psychological thriller, and a meditation on mass hysteria because, again, he was really mad about the Blair Witch Project because he was so mad that people watched the Blair Witch Project and thought it was real. And this guy's over here making documentaries that no one gives a fuck about. And like, he was like really bent out of shape about that. So he actually wanted the movie to be about how dumb people are, like, basically. And it's like, dude, attacking your audience. Guy is so aggressive. But he gets his way. He kind of does what he wants. But
he has one of those characters, and it was enough. 'Cause I'm not you're the one that takes like in-depth notes and like picks up on things. I'm just a fucking idiot that goes along for the ride. But this line stuck out to me more so than like any film is the character saying, if people believe something enough, it's real. And to hear him like be mad about the first Blair Witch and to have that line in there, like it makes sense. And that was like the theme of this movie. And I fucked with it. I liked it.
Yeah. And which character said that? Was that one of the townspeople?
No, It's the guy at the end that's screaming about the film not being real.
Because the director was one of the townspeople in the movie. At the beginning, he played.
Please tell me he's the. I was gonna say it at the scene. Let's talk about it. There is a guy. So they go into the town. They go into the store, and everyone's staring at them. Like it's, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they're so out of place. But they're not. Dude, they are normal-looking folks in a normal-looking convenience store. Yeah. So it's not like they're being stared like they're fucking freaks, right? There is a man who's laying on his back, restocking a vending machine. His mouth is... I'm going to send it to you so you can throw up there. Because I rewound it and took video of it. He's just laying on his back, frozen still. He doesn't move, and his mouth is open. And he's just like frozen in time watching these people. I'm going to send it to you right now, actually.
Hang on. No, it wasn't him. It was one of the town folk at the beginning of the movie. Sorry, everyone. I just had to take off my sweatshirt. I did it the most weirdest way possible. He was... one of the town folk in the beginning where they're like, fuck the Blair Witch Project.
I just sent it to you.
I'll throw it up to our video.
I want to see your reaction.
Did you do it on Instagram? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up. Now, another interesting thing about this movie was he hired, and this was probably a bad idea, he chose his cast based on the way they worked with each other. So he didn't even like, it wasn't about their acting chops. It was just about how well they got along with each other. And he was like, so like he did like group casting. It was really bizarre. And then he also went out to like that town where the Blair Witch took place. I can't think of the name of it, but, which everyone's going to be so mad about, but, it begins with a B. Burkittsville. He went out to Burkittsville and spent like 6 weeks out there asking people shit about the Blair Witch Project. And I was like, dude, like, oh my God. Like, if I were Artisan, I'd be like, hey, how's the movie going? Oh, I haven't started it. I'm talking to people about the first movie that I fucking hate so much.
Screaming at the town drunk about the Blair. What he knows about the Blair Witch Project.
Right. This video. And this guy comes back into play here. Let me, I'm going to try. I don't want people to see my fucking DMs though. All right, here we go. I don't need you all seeing when I'm sending people. Burp. All right. So if you follow us on wait. That guy, oh, I can't zoom in, that's a bummer. Fucking dude, and he's in another scene doing the same things, which is insane. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with this. A director that doesn't love it. They did the same thing though, where the actors kept their real first names.
Yes.
In the movie, which is I always like and then kind of hate at the same time. So.
I mean, it's good for the first one. This one, there's sense. Again, the first one you can buy into the fact that like it's a found footage. It feels authentic. This one, at no point in time would anyone be like, "Could this be real?" Like, it's not going to happen. So. Let me ask you another hard hitting question before we go into our spiel. Sure. Who is your favorite character? There's a clear-cut answer, man.
If it's not... well, actually, I guess I have two. I have Erica, because she is fine. And then the sheriff, who's...
it's the sheriff. He's doing a Yosemite Sam impression the entire time. It's the fucking sheriff.
Yo, the sheriff who calls the guy that runs the Blair Witch Hunt tour van after a murder and is like, "Do you know about this boy?" Dude, a fucking crime scene, you don't go to interview him. You're like, "Hey, you better stay put, buddy."
Sean, we find that the guy is living in like an abandoned mental facility, and there's no reason that guy should have a landline or cable TV. And the sheriff is calling him on it, being like, "I know you're in there, boy."
The sheriff calls him and goes, "Turn on your TV, goddamn."
Doesn't send troops to his house to like question him. Just be like,
"Here, I'm gonna
turn on your TV and tell me what you know."
I'm gonna give you 1 day to get your stories together.
That guy is the best.
You leave your house. And then I thought that was nuts. And then he like amps it up at the end during the interrogations, and he's like, "You idiot bitch."
Yeah, man, that guy needs his own movie. An origin story of the sheriff.
Oh, man. He was unbelievable. All right. So that guy rocks. Well, like we said, we open up summer 99. Well, first it says the following across the screen. So like, again, like, Artisan was like, "Bro, no one's going to go fucking see this." You didn't make it like the other ones. So they're like, they put this thing up in the front of it and says the following is a fictionalized reenactment of events that occurred after the release of the Blair Witch Project. So they're like, this is the Rescue 911 of the Blair Witch Project. It is based on public records, local Maryland TV broadcasts, and hundreds of hours of taped interviews to protect the privacy of certain individuals. Some names have been changed. So they're like still trying to like grasp onto those Blair Witch straws, despite it being a very like pretty glossy Hollywood film. It's very odd. Summer 99, we get MTV News, we got our boy Kurt Loder, everyone talking about the Blair Witch, baby. Everyone was so spooked about that movie. And that's what we cut to. Andy Richter looked fucking terrified. Dude, they cut to Andy Richter on Conan and he's like, "That movie scared the shit out of me." So intense. But man, that movie captured America for a while. And then we get to interview these Burkittsville, Maryland residents, the place where the Blair Witch took place. All of them, kind of like, that movie's bullshit. But then also all of them are like, "I sell my dirt for like $25 a pound." to idiots that come here. So, a mix of good and bad. And we get the sheriff in the first opening. He screams, "There ain't no goddamn Blair Witch."
Screaming at people in the woods.
That's our first introduction to him. "There ain't no goddamn Blair Witch."
Which, like, it doesn't like. Usually, someone would have like a huge megaphone or speaker system like disperse. He's just screaming at people that are walking by,
doing your best dad impression. The best impression of your dad. Just hollering at people. Then we go 1 year earlier. Cut to 1 year earlier. It says it on the screen. Burkittsville Psychiatric Ward. We see Jeff Donovan, the actor who's Jeff in the movie. And he sells knickknacks in a psych ward. Oh, no. He was the guy that was selling knickknacks. I'm sorry. He was selling knickknacks in the intro. And he was like, yeah, I wish I was here when that movie came out, but I wasn't. Like, okay. Then it cuts to 1 year later. And he's in a psych ward getting the fucking the thing shoved up his nose and fluid pumped into his brain. A doctor, like, with a fucking cigarette dangling out over his fucking head while he's going under for surgery.
Yeah, again, it's a scene from the Titicut Follies.
And then, cue Marilyn Manson Disposable Teens and just random flashes of violence while we pan over the beautiful...
Which will happen throughout the film.
Dude.
Just like splices in of fucking people getting hit on the head with hammers and stuff.
And this guy's a documentary maker, which is cool. But like, I just don't understand why he couldn't put together a movie properly. And I know
he did a lot of.
I know that like Artisan like there's a weird choppiness to it, and that was Artisan for sure. That's like a documented thing. Artisan did that, but like also that fire pit scene Joe, it's like one of the longest scenes in like fucking movie history of these people just partying nothing happens. Nothing fucking happens.
Watching the girl like slowly make her bed on a grave, lying on the rocks.
It was so weird. It was so weird.
But then he did things. You know how in The Exorcist there's like spices of Pazuzu space that will be in like the upper right corner. Yeah. He did that with like the stick figure. The Blair Witch stick. He did. Like, you'll see it emerge in like the right hand corner and stuff, and just be thrown all out. But this is not the movie.
No,
doing that.
No, it's really not. It's really fucking not. So we cut. Okay, so we were current day. Then we flashed back to Jeff in a psych ward. Maybe a flashback, maybe a flash forward. Now we're back to November 15th, 1999.
Yep.
Okay. So we got Jeff. Yeah. Wait, no, yeah. So then we go back to Monday, 15th, November 1999. Jeff is arrested and being interrogated, and they're like, "We found fucking blood in the van." Cut to now again, another cut to. It says 3 days before. So this is now November 12th, 1999, and we are in the van with Jeff. Prior to all of the events that have happened, except maybe the psych ward. I don't know whether that was before or after. So, who can say? I guess it was before, right? Because he didn't see the Blair Witch because of it.
Right. He says he missed it. I mean, if you didn't say that, you would be forgiven for thinking after watching the events unfold that he's now in the psych ward. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the case. So I guess that was just supposed to be a red herring?
No, because that's why because the sheriff is constantly like, "You've been a pain in my ass for 20 years."
You've been such a pain in the ass since that guy shoved that shit up your nose. Been a real asshole. So we meet Jeff there. He runs the Blair Witch Hunt, which is a tour group that takes people into the woods to the Blair Witch sites. We meet Tristan and Steven, a couple who are also college people. And they are writing a book on the Blair Witch titled The Blair Witch Hysteria or History. And then fucking Steven's like, "You fucking piece of shit. It's the Blair Witch History or Hysteria." And you're like, "Oh, this is fucking good. This is a good way to start this relationship." And then we also meet Erica, the Wiccan, who just pops up in the back and is like, "I'm just here for a good time." And you're like, "Oh, all right." And then we meet Kim, who is a goth girl who they pick up. They're like, "Yeah, we got to go pick up the last person from her house." And it's a graveyard. And she's so goth, she just hangs out and sleeps in the graveyard. And they pick her up and they're like, "Why do you want to come?" And she's like, "I just thought the movie was cool." You're like, "Oh, okay." Cool. Sounds like a good idea. Now the goth kind of has some like superpowers, but not, they're brought up whenever they feel like. And then when they're brought up to her, when they're like, hey, can you use your fucking third eye to figure this out? She's like, you fucking asshole. But the rest of the movie, she's like right here. They're just walking and she's like, so what's it like to be pregnant? And the girl's like, oh, how did you know that? And she's like, yeah, and Steven doesn't want to keep it. And she's like, what?
The goth and the Wiccan both have like magical powers, and then like you said, are like adamantly against talking about it.
Yes.
But the filmmaker decides to like have them use it at the most useless and like insignificant times in the movie.
Right. Like right here, when she literally read this human being's mind. and when she was like, how did you know that? She's like, don't know. Just to get.
Which, by the way, the pregnancy angle is the most meaningless plot point,
so
perhaps of all time.
Yeah, can I talk about like my warning to you and shit? Like, just because it was like,
yeah.
So like obviously everyone knows what Joe's just gone through, and so if you've seen this, this woman is pregnant, as we find out, and ultimately ends up having a miscarriage. Like, kind of in the first act. Yeah, I think it happens. I think
it's the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's in the first 30 minutes.
And not only does it happen, but you also get a dream sequence showing it happen. So it kind of happens twice. So it is a trigger warning. Yeah,
exactly. And so I like text Joe because I like, dude, it was yesterday when I watched it. I didn't watch it in advance, so I was like, fuck. So I'm like, Joe, just fucking heads up, like this fucking happens.
Thank you for that.
And then, but then, like I'm thinking, wow, they're going to make this like really fucking heavy, which is weird because it feels pretty fucking light up until this moment. It's not a fucking thing. It's not even a worry after that scene. It happens and then it's over.
It does nothing to like push the movie forward, right? Like, or like come back to play at the end.
It's such an alarming decision. It's such an alarming fucking decision to make. I question this guy's ability to like string together a movie because like I feel like any writer and director. By the way, he co-wrote this, right? What? Like, use your fucking head. What the fuck is this? Like, we're talking about Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Like, let's cut out all the good shit from the first one. This is what people are here for. And we can't tell this story without the loss of this child.
Yeah, fucking
psychotic. It's fucking psychotic. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. So yeah, we find out that Tristan's pregnant, and the goth girl can read minds there. We get like a brief hint of like the found footage aspect here. Suddenly it goes to like shaky cam, and I was like, oh, maybe they like kind of do that in this. They don't, but you got it for a minute here, because the guy Jeff, the tour guide, loves filming everything. Of course, he's got to film it because he wants to catch video of Ellie. Who's Ellie? Ellie is the name of the Blair Witch, I guess. That is not revealed in the first one, is it? I don't think it is. That's actually a good question. I should have looked that up beforehand.
Sure. Yeah.
Because now everyone's gonna be like, it was revealed in the first one. I don't think she had a fucking name in the first one, but no.
Well, I mean, I know the Blair Witch. Like, I know in the first one they talk about the legend because it had like a real witch's name. I just don't remember what it was.
No. They, Ellie Kedward, the Blair Witch. I don't know if it's talked about in the movie, though. But they did say they used it. I think she's a real fictional legend. Residents blame the occurrences. I can't figure it out. Anyway, so maybe it is in the first one. So I take back that insult. But I thought it was fucking weird that it seemed like she suddenly had a name because they were like hammering it in. Like, it was just like Ellie, Ellie, Ellie. Like, they just kept saying her fucking name. And I was like, oh, is this who the Blair Witch is? And it was. You know, you get some. We're in the woods. They're in the woods. We get some of the, spooky Blair Witch stuff, like Jeff being like, guys, there's a fucking tree in the middle of this fucking house. And they're like, okay. And he's like, it would have went through the roof. I'm like, oh, okay. Cool. And then like the Wicca Erica is like talking the craziest shit. Like it just like it's so funny. It's just like I don't want to like I'm not trying to like mock Wicca or anything about it, but it's just like it's the most like high school version of Wicca possible, right? Like she's just giving like the high school definitions of shit. She's like, I don't put
they have no clue what they actually believe or they practice, right?
Right. She's like, you don't put hexes because it comes back threefold. And you're like, oh, cool. It was sick. But she does say she wants to like hook up with Ellie here. She wants to, like soul smash. Like fucking hook up with her in that fucking spirit realm and shit. They also have a picture of her, which is not very flattering, but that's all right. So that night they have a campfire. And it is the most, again, like talk about high school shit. It's the most heady, like first time high schoolers drinking campfire I've ever seen in my life. Dude, it's insane. Like talking about Wicca, and she's like, man, the Blair Witch fucking ruined witchcraft. Like the movie, right? She's like, it ruined it for all of us. It gave us a bad name. And then like the Tristan, the very like educated, the scholarly woman in the group, she's saying shit like, perception is reality, man. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is that conversation. Oh, this is the one you were talking about. It's so funny.
Yeah, if enough people believe it, it's true.
Yeah, and then she ends it with, I think you're being a monomaniacal reductionist. You're like, all right, I've seen enough of this. And it seemed like for 20 fucking minutes. It was just nonstop. They start hearing screaming in the woods, though. So you're like, oh, thank God, something's going to fucking, here we go. We're going to pick up the pace here. It is the Blair Witch Walk. A rival touring group that shows up, and they start fighting, being like, we're staying here tonight.
Dude, having a camera off, just like pushing the cameras into each other.
And then they ultimately, though, trick that group to go up to a place called Coffin Rock, another site of Blair Witch incidents. And, they go, so they trick them to go up there. That's the end of that. End of story. Oh, but that's okay, because we just go back to fucking partying at the fireplace. More of it.
And you had said that at the beginning, like the scene is so unnecessary. It's so long.
Dude, and it ends with the goth girl having a staring contest with an owl. I've never seen anything like it in my fucking life. Yo, and that's not even a fucking joke. She goes like, boom, she turns her head real fast. And she's staring up in a tree, and it cuts, and there's just an owl staring at her, and it cuts between the two like 2 more times. And that's
that's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. This character.
Who draws first? Don't worry, that owl will come back. So if you were worried about that owl, he's a reoccurring character in this film. And that's that. That's that. We cut to the dream sequence where Tristan, I guess, drowns a baby in the water. I don't know, fucking nightmare. And then they all wake up slowly. It's hazy. They've been drinking. There's paper
covered in fucking burnt ash paper.
There's shredded paper coming down from the skies onto them. And you're like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is happening? Which, by the way, I don't know. I'm not even gonna get into it. It doesn't matter. It's just paper like coming down from the sky. And the guy Steven's like, this was all my work, all my research. So like all of his shit got shredded and all of Jeff's cameras got broken. So everyone's all up in arms. And then the goth girl, again, with her superpowers, is like, the tapes survived. And they're like, how would you know? And she's like, they're over there. And they're like, that's where they found the original tapes, you stupid idiot. And she's like, no, they're over there. So they go and they find all the tapes in a perfectly good condition.
Yes.
So that's cool. Now, the weird, yeah, again, and that's the moment where Steven's like, that was just a movie. Like, that was just a movie. Like, that, don't worry about it. And then it's like, oh, wait, so is the Blair Witch fiction or documentary in this? Or it's like kind of like unknown.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, well. They decide they have to go watch the videos. So that's cool. Oh, and then also Tristan has a miscarriage, which is unfortunate. And then we just cut back to an interrogation. And that's it.
I mean, not to dwell on that scene. I don't want to talk about it. I don't like talking about it. But just to hammer how stupid it is to put it in. They take her to the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
And, like, you think it's going to be
a
something that's like yeah. That's the perfect way to say it. You think it's just going to be a thing. She's just immediately discharged, and that's the end of it.
She's like, we got to go watch those tapes, and they fucking leave, and
Yeah.
and no one gives a fuck. No one really gives a fuck about this at all, including the boyfriend who, like, they were building up this like tension about having the kid with her and the boyfriend, and he's just like, yeah, whatever.
He brings it up again later, and she brings it up, and it's just like an argument. But again, it could have been anything they were arguing about.
Right.
It was so. It just wasn't needed.
No, not at all. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I was like, maybe they tie it in at the end with the witch, and they don't. So that's super sick to include. So they decide they got to go review this footage, though, right? Tristan is also having visions at this point of someone attacking them, but she doesn't know who. And we're done with the woods, by the way, guys. We will not be going back to the woods at any point during this movie.
We're just going to this stupid fucking house.
This guy's fucking lost.
Commandeered a fucking factory.
And while they're reviewing the footage, they find a little clip of people that were, they keep going. They keep saying that they're lined up in a pentagram, which they're not. They're just in a circle, but that's fine. I don't know why they keep calling it a pentagram, but it's honestly pissed me off. I'll be honest with you, because they keep saying it. They're like, the bodies are lined up like a fucking pentagram, and it would flash it, and just people laying like more like a sun, like a fucking circle. It's bodies. It's fucking what anyway. So they see a flash of it, and they're like, "What is that?" And Steven's like, "That's Coffin Rock." And they're like, "How do you know?" The whole movie is just everyone being like, I think they were trying to capture a little bit of that from the first one. The whole, like, I don't know, like the idea of, like, you know, John Carpenter's The Thing, of like turning on each other, right? The stress and like having a small group together and that stress and stuff. But it just like doesn't work in this one, because they're just like, how do you know that? And like constantly just accusing the goth and the witch. Hey, you're a fucking witch. This had to be you. And she's like, no, it's not. Dude,
Multiple times throughout the movie.
Dude, the goth girl finds the missing girl's clothes, which we'll get to later, but finds the clothes and is like, oh my God, she's not here. And they're like, oh yeah, it must be you, because you found the fucking clothes. You serious?
Dude, he who smelt it dealt it.
Dude, it's all it is. Dude, that's great. That's exactly what this is. This movie is the biggest game of whoever smelt it dealt it.
Yeah, because anytime anyone finds
anything
semblance of evidence, you're like, well, it has to be you.
Dude, if somebody points out something in the video, like, oh, how would you know that was in the video?
All watching it together.
It's so insane. It's the entire fucking movie. So they find this clip, but it doesn't really mean anything to him. Steven then hears some crying outside. And the guy sees a dead ghost girl, like, walking backwards, just like a random little girl dead. Also not really from the right time period. I'm pretty sure she's wearing like a 1930s dress, but that's okay.
Dude, there's so many like visions of children that is like
wearing like
which I like. I know why. I know the rumor, like, even from the first one, is that the kids were killed by the witch, right? Or killed in the house. But
right.
it's it's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous because like they don't play up to it. Like it's just like that's not even part. Quite honestly, I'm not quite sure what this story is. I'll be honest with you. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I was about to be like, it's not part of the story, and then I was like, wait, what? What is this story? What is the story? It's just kind of them experiencing the Blair Witch shit. There's not really a story here. There's not, right? Like, am I nuts or like? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah. It to me at least, it was very sloppy.
There was no goal. There was no end game really for this. It was just like the tour got like kind of like cut short.
Chaos.
Yeah, just chaos. It's chaos, right? Yeah. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, they go back to the footage. Oh well, before that, Steven and Erica the Wiccan. Now Steven just lost a child. He starts having sex with Erica the witch, and then Erica rips his chest open. All of
slices it open.
All of vision.
Yeah. while he's just sitting across the table.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, that was weird. And it's fake, but it's not because they, like the next morning they're both like super awkward with each other. They're like, how was your sleep?
I mean, okay. So again, that's kind of like the frustrating part about this movie is that you know how in Evil Dead is like a descent into insanity.
Yeah.
It's just like things that are spiraling, like visions and just like weirdness happening in this house. Mm-hmm. It's just chaos, but it's controlled chaos. Whereas I feel this one had cool ideas, but they just never pulled it together.
That's what it is. They like didn't string it together. It's just like moments, like very fleeting moments that are just like whoop, whoop. And you're like, oh, that's like cool vision. Like the visions were kind of cool. Like we'll see the goth girl eat a fucking owl fucking with her bare hands. I was like, that's sick. And then, but like it's not tied to anything else. It's just this like singular moment where somebody sees it and is like, that was weird. And yeah, it was. But like, it doesn't like string together. It doesn't really intensify either, right? It just, little things just keep happening. There's no like, it doesn't like build to like a larger incident.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of does. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Anyway, so they go back to the footage, and then this time they see Erica dancing around naked in the video. It's so weird because, like, at the beginning, Jeff's like, I watched all the fucking video. There's fucking nothing. And then just proceeds to keep finding shit in the video.
Well, that's because things keep getting added, which comes to play at the end. It's just all the things that they're watching are like, wait, that's not what happened. So.
Oh, and then okay, I guess all right, fine. Well, I guess what gets added here is Erica dancing around naked, baby.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? I just pulled up Letterboxd.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know what prompted me to pull it up right now, but I did, and there's a bunch of 4.5 stars, and then there's our buddy Mill James, Millzilla. We gave it half star, and it just says, this might be the worst movie I've ever seen.
I somehow, Joe, well, no, I don't see the 4.5, but I get how people love it, and I also understand people fucking despising this.
Yeah, dude, same. That's why I think I might give it like 2.5 because I can go either way.
You could be swayed. You review it twice. One is half star. One is 3.5. It's like it's the weirdest fucking movie. It's just like it.
Devin of all people gave it. Devin hates everything. He gave it 3.5 stars, but he did say in his review, the movie got butchered, but I think it's a shame because there's some really cool stuff buried in here. That pretty much sums up how I feel about that movie. Like there's some really cool ideas throughout this that.
Yeah. And I think they were on the right track. Like again, like I think if it was made today, they could have pulled this idea off. Because also, quite honestly, how would you have even followed up the Blair Witch? If you tried to remake the first one, right? I think it would have bombed. I think it would have fucking tanked because you're not capturing that ever again.
Yeah.
That was weird. It was scary. You can't do it. You can't duplicate that. You can't do it again.
You should have followed it up by following like another group trying to find
that's your best bet. But even that, I feel like people would have been like,
It's not going to work.
yeah, it's not as scary as the first one. So I think they were right in doing this. And by the way, $15 million budget for this movie, and it made almost $48 million.
Dude, I was so shocked to see that it made that much money.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Do you remember anything about, like, you couldn't escape the first one's promotion?
No,
I don't remember this one coming out at all.
I remember it coming out and just being like, but like, I thought everyone felt like me, which was like, that's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why is that a movie? Like, why did they do that? Yeah. Why is it called Book of Shadows? Wait, what is the Book of Shadows?
Why is it?
Holy shit.
Great question.
I think there is a book involved in it because she has like a picture, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Oh my God. That's fucking funny. That's like super funny. And like, you could have done so much because like, you really don't get anything in the first one. So you could have like written a really good backstory. Like you could have added anything you wanted to their, like the history of this character, the witch that is, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, well, Goth Girl needs to go get some beer, which she's chased away by townies who are like, go fuck yourself, Goth Girl. And she's like, get bent. And she's chased away by townies in her van and then has the slowest crash I've ever seen into a phone pole.
Sean, first off, my only thought is that would have killed Trey Songz, right? that crash is very similar to the one that killed him in Texas Chainsaw, but it was seeing she's driving and sees apparitions of dead children, which would probably make anyone like accelerate or brake so hard that like they get whiplash and knocked unconscious. That is the slowest car crash of all time.
I hate to talk about the Austin Powers scene always whenever we talk about slow scenes, but it just fucking cracks me up because it was that element. It was just like
Sean, if you put your car into neutral and pushed it with your bare hands into a tree, it would have been a harder impact.
I agree with that completely. That was wild. Not enough stunt money in the budget. She crashes into that car though because she sees a bunch of dead kids.
Which is so funny because even her, like you would think in a movie like this, the character would be like dazed or like, you know, they would play up that crash and like stumble out. She is totally fine and rightfully.
Oh yeah,
so. It's probably the most realistic thing in this movie. Like if you got in a car accident like that, she just unbuckles and gets out.
It's like, wow, that was weird. Well. There's that. She gets back to the house safely, only to see a vision of Jeff in an electric chair being electrocuted in his seat. And I was like,
I mean, I really thought that they were like amping up. This is all on like Jeff's head and he's, you know,
okay.
Because he's a psych ward or he's escaped from the psych ward and he's killing people. Why is he being in the electric chair?
I don't know. Well, and yeah, especially because like in that moment, I remember being like, oh yeah, because he goes to the psych ward. Maybe she sees the future, but that was actually the past. So sick. So that happens. And then Jeff's like, you fucking idiot. You crashed the fucking car. And the fucking car is obliterated, right? The car is obliterated. And she's like, I just bumped the bumper. This is the biggest, like, this is the tension of this film. It's just like people being like, you idiot. You fucking ruined my car. Anyway, yeah. The next, it's demolished. And then they also reveal that they all have like Blair Witch marks on their body, like yes, carved into their bodies. And this somehow relates to the kids that killed Ellie, who dipped their hands in her blood and finger painted on her.
Remember when people used to brand themselves in high school?
I don't. I did. I don't remember anyone else. I remember I did it with a
Why was that a thing?
fucking clothes hanger. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what people did.
It
was always like the letter A for like if their name started with an A. It was fucking asinine.
Really? Wait, how would you do an A? Oh, like
I mean, it looked like shit. That's the point. Yeah.
mine looked pretty good.
What'd you do?
I did a fucking heart.
Why? Hearts were big. Hearts were big.
They were?
Yeah, dude. Everyone was doing it.
I literally don't know anyone that did this.
Dude, when I worked at the ice cream shop, I was the only one that wasn't doing it. And I was like one of the most stupid people who would do anything anyone asked. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing
That's
it.
so fucking weird. That's so fucking weird. I did it like junior year, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Everyone did it.
Oh, that's crazy. Let us know your branding stories, gang.
Yeah.
Was branding big in your high school? I did it at a fucking party. I just fucking bent a clothes hanger and did it. Somebody was, oh, you know what? That's probably, somebody else probably, because I never saw it. But I think somebody else might have put it in my head. They probably knew about it. Now I feel like a fucking poser, my guy. God, I'm actually like a little bit upset about this. Because I'm like trying to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like I did it because like this kid was like, you should do this. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. But
Nah, dude.
Oh.
Like, especially the grade above us or above me.
That's so fucking lame. I'm so mad. It's still there, so barely. But who the fuck? So that's about branding, guys. That was our branding chat.
PSA.
Branding PSA. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It sizzled. It scared me. So I pulled it off, and then I was like, I didn't get it all the way. So I had to do it again. So it like fucking doubled the line. You know? You hear your own flesh sizzle, and it's it's a little startling. Hey, listen. Where are we? Oh, yes. So the car's a mess, and Erica is missing. They find her clothes and shit laid out with candles around it. So Erica's gone and naked. Don't know where she is. People are assuming she vanished into the void, probably to hang out with the Blair Witch, which is what she said she was going to do. So, seems logical, right?
Yes.
Well, cut to the police station where the goth girl is. So we know her future. And then we just cut back. Dude, nothing happens in that scene. We just see her in the... And this was what Artisan did. They were like, you need to splice these scenes throughout the movie. These interrogation scenes. Whereas the director wanted to put them all at the end, which would have made perfect sense to do. And held like some semblance of, what would you call it? I can't think of the word, but like, well, now you're like, oh, she survives, right? Like you didn't know who was going to live or die at the end of this.
Right.
And then they slowly just reveal everyone who's at the police station. And then you're like, okay, well, there goes that. We know these three people survived. So what is it? What is the rest of it?
See, I did think it was cool that when Erica was gone, they try and call her father.
That was a great scene. That was a fucking...
And the secretary's like, yeah, this guy's here, but he has no children.
Yeah, and Jeff's like, no, we know you disowned her because she's a witch. Well, I'm just like, this is important. Like, whatever. And she's like, he has never had children. And you're like, oh, fuck. And like, yeah, again, great. But again, does not string together to anything. Because guess what? Erica's fucking dead.
Yes.
Erica is just dead in the closet. Her death is mysterious, and do we ever find out who did it or no?
Well, it shows Jeff. It shows Jeff
being the one
at the end. Yeah, because he's like, I didn't do that. Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Good job, Jeff. And again, like when she disappears, Jeff's like, you fucking idiots are pranking me. Jeff, it's your fucking house. They called her parents, which we talked about. And then the scene where the sheriff calls Jeff and is like, turn on your fucking TV, you piece of shit. And Jeff's like, oh man, somebody turn on the fucking TV and make this guy happy. Imagine a cop calls you and is like, you need to turn on the TV right now. Like, you turn on the fucking TV. It's the scariest thing I've ever heard. You're like, God, somebody fucking, he's like, I'm busy watching these movies. Why would the sheriff call him? Anyway.
Especially if he's a prime suspect in these murders, which he is. Well, that's why the sheriff is calling him.
You know what? That was my fucking note here, because the sheriff thinks they're involved. Like, the sheriff's like, I think you guys are involved. And Jeff's like, what the fuck? You guys are actually involved. Like, you saw those people? Because on the news, they reveal the people up at Coffin Rock had all been disemboweled and laid out in a pentagram, right?
Yes. They were probably the last people they saw, like last confirmed.
Regardless of what happened up there, you were involved in that.
Dude, you would, which is honestly, you know, there's so many like cases, like real life cases right. where things like this probably isn't that far off, even though it should be.
Right.
There's so many like cases that get botched because of things like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're like, did you know these people? No. Turns out they fucking walked right into him and were like, you should sleep up there tonight. Probably be good to know this information. Oh, also that owl that had a staring contest crashes through the window and dies. And that literally only occurs just so Jeff can turn around and see the goth eating the owl and be like, whoa? And then like shake it off. And then she's just eating KFC.
Which, dude, it just there's a thing that just says fried chicken in the freezer. That made me laugh out loud. Just generic fried chicken.
Generic fried chicken. And why would you eat that? It's fucking disgusting.
Dude, anything in Jeff's house I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat in Jeff's house, period.
100%. Yeah.
Dude, calling that a house is like calling Buzz's backyard a field.
A stadium. Well, Jeff is convinced Erica is not just a witch, but is the witch, the Blair witch. They haven't found her body yet. My bad. And everyone is just having visions at this point. And again, they don't really like tie together. They see the owl. Steven and Tristan see Erica dancing naked outside in the woods, which that causes Jeff to run outside, or not Jeff, Steven to run outside, and this giant drawbridge that is above a fucking moat that Jeff lives in. Jeff lives in a fucking castle. The drawbridge collapses and Steven almost plummets to his death, and Tristan just walks away. But the other members of the gang save him. So, yes. While this is happening, though, Jeff sees a little girl and she says, "You know who it is, and you know what you have to do." I guess that kind of ties into what he does at the end, but not significantly. Like, the guy just couldn't pick fucking like one thing to just like roll with for like like a little bit and like polish off a scene, or like, you know what I mean? Like, he couldn't tie one fucking thing together. It just a series of these fucking things, like, cause like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, Tristan's spinning out of control and spinning literally in her room, just screaming about little bastard boys hanging her.
Tristan screaming about Widdershins.
Oh, dude. That's fucking Widdershins.
Which is a real thing. It just means walking around counterclockwise.
Yeah. The goth girl finds files of all of them in Jeff's desk. So then they're like, Jeff, what are you fucking doing? Spying on us. And then another flash forward and we see Steven's alive. So we know that he's not going to die. And we're back and fucking they find dead Erica in the closet, which you think is a vision with Jeff, but then everyone's like, oh God. And it's not a vision. She's deader than a doornail in the house.
Yes.
And then Tristan, for some reason, comes downstairs because of the winter shins and is like, everything's backwards. Jeff's like, what the fuck are you saying? Which was an appropriate response. And then the goth girl's like, she's right. Everything's backwards. And I was like, what now? What the fuck? So they're like, roll.
Their conclusion is play the tapes in reverse.
Which, by the way, Jeff has been rewinding these fucking things constantly. All fucking night. Every scene that he's looking at a tape, we see him be like, wait a minute, and rewind it. So motherfucker's been rewinding this shit. But they're like, play it in reverse. And he does, and nothing happens. And they're like, use the command code. And so Jeff types on the keyboard backwards. And then guess what? We see the real video. And it's again, another super long fucking scene, and it's again at that fire pit. But we just get to watch it again. They're like Steven's like, is this the missing time? And they're like, yes. And it is just a long fucking scene. It's like a 10-minute scene of what occurred during the blackout. And it's quite honestly not that much different than what occurred when they weren't blacked out. It's just them being drunk and like rolling around and naked. And I mean, there's some creepier stuff. Erica's butt naked with a skull in between her legs. Very Danzig-esque. I'm sure Danzig was like, one day I'm going to make a movie. And yeah, it's just a very long scene of partying and people naked and people having a shag, in the woods, you know?
Yep.
Oh, dude, and one girl dances with that fucking owl that crashed through the window. Dude, wait, holy shit, I forgot about that. The goth girl is like, has the owl's wings in her hand and is like, as if that's a fucking thing that would ever happen in a million fucking years. Dude, that owl would claw your fucking eyes out with fucking talons.
A literal bird of prey.
Dude, swinging it around. That's the craziest thing. Why would you include that? It's just so nuts. That's so nuts. 3.5, 4.5 stars, guys. It appears Tristan orchestrated it all based on these videos. Tristan was kind of like the leader in it. Like, she's not doing anything. Everyone else is naked and like bowing to her and like doing all this shit, you know? So, and somebody's holding the camera.
Yep.
But no one even mentions that. So I don't think we're supposed to care who's holding it. But it's weird. It's weird. Anyway, they turn around to Tristan. They're like, did you make us do that? And she's like, you're all gonna fucking die. You're all afraid, just like the pathetic little children of Blair Village. But like, she's not the witch. So that was kind of a bummer.
Well, they think she's possessed by the witch.
Yeah, but she's not, is she? I mean, maybe. I don't know.
She might be. I
thought good thing they cleared that up for us. Anyway, they have this like big, they have this like giant kerfluffle, you know, because they're like, Tristan, you fucking did this. They essentially chase her up the stairs.
And they utilize the shot from the first one where it's just a zoom in of the nostrils.
Dude, yes, yeah. Fucking that was their homage to the original. Did you catch this Easter egg of the nostril? Screen crush, that guy. Hey, remember this shot of the nostrils? Might look familiar.
I love that guy.
That guy rocks, by the way. I'm not even taking a shot. That guy does Marvel flicks. If you guys haven't seen him, he does the Easter eggs for the Marvel movies. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But they chase her upstairs. She somehow gets like a rope around her neck. How does she get the rope around her neck? Does she put it there?
I thought they did it
I don't know.
No, you're right. She puts it around her neck to like dare Steven.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Like, well, I dare you to push me.
Which, like, so, like...
He does.
So, like, again, then this is, like, kind of my problem with the end, right? So they, like, chase her up there, and Steven pushes her, and she is killed. She is hung. She's hung, and she dies.
Yeah.
And then also, for some reason, we get clips of the people, like, Coffin Rock getting their heads smashed in, and Steven's like looking down, being like, what the fuck? And I think it's them having visions of what they actually did, because they were basically, what happened when they blacked out was Tristan sent them up into the woods to kill those people and disembowel them.
Right.
So they killed them all. But I don't know why, like, hanging her, they were suddenly like, oh God, what did we do? But that's that. That's kind of the end, because then it cuts to the news.
Well, yeah, because they were under her spell, you know, when they did it for the other ones.
Yes.
And this one, they're at their normal senses, right?
Yeah. And that's kind of the end of that. And then it just cuts to the news who are like, we've arrested 3 people that have murdered everyone, trying to copy the Blair Witch. And then we see, like, and again, like, here's some cool things that I liked. Like, it was kind of like that Fight Club, like, concept, right? Where it was like, you didn't know what you were doing. So, like,
dude, imagine if they played Where Is My Mind during all this. Fuck. Missed opportunity.
They probably should have. So, like, the goth girl actually killed somebody at the fucking package store or whatever, the convenience store. She killed the woman who she had an altercation with. Was there another one? I remember being like, oh, they should have done more of that. Like, I wish there was more like, oh, they killed like all these people in these little interactions that they actually had. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I know they did a couple, but I thought it was.
It shows Jeff being butt naked and stuffing Erica's body into the closet.
Oh yeah. And like it's cool. Like I don't know. I like that idea.
It was cool. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
Like that's like some Blair Witch shit, right? They were under the spell. They did all this shit that they don't remember. So like, because like the whole movie, they're just denying it, and now it's like, oh wait, they fucking they did a lot worse, like than we think they did. So they're not innocent. It wasn't a witch that killed all these people. It was actually them, I think. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, and this is where you get that guy doing the best acting I've ever seen in my life. That's not how it happened.
Yeah, they show Steven the video of the hanging, and it's like slightly different, but it's not that much different that, you know what I mean? Like, I was almost like, wait, is this actually what happened like 3 minutes ago? Because like, I don't.
The guy's so convincing.
I didn't even remember it that much differently than what they showed on the video, and that guy's like, what the fuck is that? I don't know, what is this? Dude loses his fucking mind. Dude, I just watched it and I was like, no, I think that's fucking right. Even if I was him, I'd be like, oh fuck, you know what? I think that played out differently than I thought. Because at the end of the day, you still pushed that woman off the ledge. Like, you still killed her.
Right.
Like very much so. Like,
I mean, it shows them accusing her of being a witch and pushing her off. But like you're saying,
that's not
still
that far
did it
off
regardless. It's like they went, regardless of what you said beforehand, you still pushed her and she died.
Right. Like that didn't really like necessarily need to happen. Like, I don't know. And also, again, I love that the police waited a day before they got here to arrest everyone and ask them questions. They gave them the heads up the day before. They were like, you fucks. We know you're involved, but we're not going to be able to get over there for a couple days. Like a fucking repairman. Steven starts screaming there's something wrong with the tape. Somebody fucked up the tape, and that's the end of the movie.
Yes. Yep.
So, would you recommend it? People watch it.
Yes.
Yes? I'd say, you know what? Give them both a watch, because then you get a little. If you absolutely hate the second one, at least you got to rewatch the first one and kind of have a romp. If you hate the first one, just don't do anything. Don't message me. Don't tell me how much you hate them all. It's fine. It's good. Everyone's happy. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I guess I would recommend it, but I'd recommend it with the first one. I think it's interesting. Did you ever watch the like requel or whatever it was, the rebootish?
From the guy who did The Guest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not like it.
Wasn't it? I mean, I want to. I mean, it's older, right?
Dude,
Wasn't it Aliens?
I mean, I don't remember a whole lot other than people complained about Cloverfield being shaky and you needed like motion sickness pill.
Yeah.
That movie, the Blair Witch movie, made me fucking sick.
Really?
It was just spinning. It was just spinning the entire time.
This movie was nominated for Stinkers and Raspberries.
This one, Book of Shadows?
Yes.
Dude, the fucking Stinkers. How come I haven't heard that before until like 3 weeks ago? Now I can't stop hearing it.
Because, like, clearly the guy that created the Stinkers just started adding it to every Wikipedia page now.
Dude, you know what? We gotta start doing that. Be like nominated for a Stanny.
Dude, like, you can. Like, that's the thing. There's so many movies, if you go on there's so many movies that are like, this podcast discussed this once. And it's like some dumbass fucking low rent podcast that's just like dog shit that they just were like, if somebody looks up Maniac Cop, they'll see that we talked about it. Oh, man. What do we want to do next week?
What's the options?
I was thinking about doing we got 2 episodes before the live show. I was thinking about doing a Fright Night week where we either do Fright Night in the remake or Fright Night 2, because that is heavily requested. What are your thoughts on Fright Night?
Dude, let's do all 3. Fright Night is my man. That and Lost Boys is hard to choose, but Fright Night is one of the best vampire movies ever. So let's do all 3 of them.
You want to do all 3 of them? How do you think we should do them? Do you think we should do? Here's my thought: we do original Fright Night and the remake in one episode next week.
Okay,
and then we do Fright Night 2 the following week.
Done.
Or do you think? Because they're going to be the same plot, right? I never saw the remake with fucking what's it?
I mean, boot and reboot. I haven't seen the remake either. Boot and reboot is like good to do same episode.
Yeah,
that
I
way,
agree.
you know, because the first Fright Night is so good. There's not really a whole lot to like for our format,
right?
To really,
it'll be fun to clown what's his face, the British guy,
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard there's a lot of people that like it, so I'm curious to finally watch it.
I don't know how you would do. Like, I want to know who plays the like eccentric TV guy.
Roddy McDowell's character.
Yeah. Wait, is it Roddy McDowell who plays that guy?
Is that not his name?
No, I think you're right.
The guy from.
Yeah, that's him. I think. Wait, is that him? God, he looks crazy when he's young. No, I don't think that's him. Wait, is it? Yeah. It is him. It's him. That's crazy. Dude, he's like his face is like, when did he die? 98. Wow, good for him, man. Looks
he plays
old as shit in 85.
Wait, when did he die?
98.
Yeah, he plays Peter Vincent, but he was in the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yes, which I love so much.
He's also an Overboard. So.
A top 10 film for me.
It's all time?
Yeah.
Overboard?
Oh,
I'm fine with that.
That movie is so
Overboard's
fucking
great.
good. That movie is so fucking awesome. It's so nuts. And it's so, like, in 2022, you're like, none of this is okay. Like, nothing about that is like, all right. Like, no one's a good guy. Like, there's 0 good guys in that. Like, everyone's awful. It's so crazy. And in 80, whatever year that came out in, what year was that? 84?
87, maybe?
Oh, really?
I think
87.
I want to know if was it? Nice. Yeah. I want to know if Evil Ed is in the reboot.
Oh, like that's another one. Like, and even if he is, who the fuck is going to play that? Like, I feel like those two guys, like, you can't, like, how do you recast that? Like, I feel like
you can't recast Evil Ed.
Oh man, that's so good. That's so fucking good. Okay, I'm like, now you just
I'm hyped to do it. I fucking love Friday, dude. That scene where Chris Sarandon is like, you have to have faith to have that work on me is literally a top like 3 horror movie scene for me.
Yeah. It's so good.
Fuck.
I'm excited for the remake too. I don't know why. And then let's just do Roddy McDowell, fucking. For the rest of our lives.
Roddy McDowell Fest to do all the Planet of the Apes movies and Overboard.
And How Green Was My Valley?
I mean,
1963 Cleopatra. Come on. Dude, Poseidon Adventure? Bedknobs and Broomsticks? Hey, guys.
Dude, Bedknobs and Broomsticks is fucking good.
Class of 1984 he was in.
Dude, that's a good one. Dude,
that's awesome.
You should do that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That Darn Cat. Hello, guys. Let's talk
about... Wait, which one? The original or the
65,
remake?
65.
Okay, the original.
Guys, dude, the cat from outer space. this guy rocks. Dude, Cutting Class. That's a great horror movie. I actually got because I wanted to watch it.
Oh, I saw that on the Plex. Dude, there's a movie that Roddy McDowell's in that I remember. It's called like Laser Quest or Laser Blast or something.
It's not Thunderhead, son of Flicka. Yo,
it's not.
Wait, I don't want to cut you off. We'll talk about Laserfest in 2 seconds. But the Flicka movies were so weird because like the history of that is like they basically just killed like 100 horses to make those fucking shitty fucking movies. You don't make me feel bad about it. But like they made all these fucking Flicka movies and like everyone was like Flicka's the best and they like all the horses they like fucking killed.
Sean. All right, it's called Laser Blast. All right, I just googled it. Hold on. I remember this so well. Wait, I could post in here, right? The comments or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can for sure.
No, well, it won't let me. Fuck.
What do you mean it won't?
It's it won't let me. It won't let me type. I'm texting
chat.
it to you.
Do the private chat.
How do I do that?
It's on the right
side. I don't.
All right.
I don't know what I'm fucking doing. Wait, just comments. Oh, private chat. Okay. Here. Look at this fucking Laser Blast.
Bro, what? Why did you see this? Guys, if you just Google image Laser Blast, every image is out of control, but there's an animated GIF that is just outrageous. Here, if you're watching the video version, I'm going to throw it up here in a second. This guy has been in everything, though. Like, it's kind of crazy. Good for him, right? Like, does this animate in the fucking... Laser Blast. A fucking... That is the weirdest... Is it about dinosaurs, or do you not even remember?
No, they're like alien dinosaurs.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he's in this movie, too, called Double Trouble from 1992 that I feel like we should all be watching. Peter Paul. Do you know this actor?
Peter Paul? No.
Is he a twin, or is he he's just in movies where he plays himself twice? Oh, Peter Paul is a former American producer and bodybuilder. He and his identical twin brother, David Paul, usually acted in films together, and they called themselves the Barbarian Brothers.
Okay.
They were natural born killers together.
All right.
There you go. But they were also in a movie called Double Trouble with our man Roddy McDowell. Oh man, this guy's got a hell of a resume. Dude, Laser Blast was the second to last movie they had on this list. 1978. The original sci-fi classic, it says.
Laser blast.
I'm sure our fans love the new ending to our show, which is us just Googling shit and talking to each other. And
Well, Laser Blast is on YouTube in its entirety.
is it? It's yeah.
Oh, that's why I've seen it. It was a Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It's on Pluto TV also, if you guys want to check it out. I think I'm going to watch it tonight. A California teen finds a laser gun and a pendant left by aliens who watch what happens. What does that mean? The aliens never come down. They just watch him do all this dumb shit. Watch him kill people with the laser gun. All right, guys. So we're going to do Fright Nights the next couple weeks. Fright Night 1 and 1 again next week, and then Fright Night 2 the week after, and then we'll do our live show. So that's it, guys. Thank you all so much for supporting us. Again, if you want to help support us, head on over to Patreon. We only got the 2 tiers now. Goblin and Mangle Expert. So if you want to sign up, head on over there, patreon.com/IHateHorror. Tickets to the live show will be available once this episode comes out, at IHateHorror.com. You click the link for the live shows and it'll direct you to our Crowdcast page where we do that. We're on Facebook.com/IHateHorror, IHateHorror.com, and Instagram.com/IHateHorror. Joe, where can they find you?
Instagram, Boognish1985.
And that's a wrap, guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you to Joe. And for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
I dissect movies all fucking day.
Wanna play?
I'm gonna watch what I'm not supposed to watch.
Dismember.
A fucking zombie getting sliced and diced.